Hi everyone, this is Diane. I have the last paper doll journal all ready to go in my shop. When you see this video, it will be in my shop. So I will leave the link below. You can click on the link and you'll be taken right there. If the journal is not there, it's because someone already purchased it. So let's get into going through the flip through. First of all, I will show you briefly what is in the pack. These are the pages of paper doll clothes. You have 2 dolls in the book, and there are clothes for each of the dolls. The initial of the doll is on the tabs. We have Holly and I think it's Linda. And some scraps of paper as usual, cut off pieces from some of the papers that I used. This wedding dress is in this pack. She goes with Linda. I don't think it's a wedding dress because it's a little girl, but it's a big, floofy dress, and it didn't fit where I had the other clothes, so I just put it in here. A little piece of the book page from the original Golden Book. There's a little card here, and more paper scraps. A guest check, some bingo sheets, some of the strips that I cut with my new dies, just a few random paper doll, well, a couple random paper doll outfits, and some random tidbits, some tickets, some playing cards. Do you know the Morton Salt Girl? It was an old-time advertisement in the U.S. for Morton Salt. She's got her salt can and it's pouring behind her, and the slogan is, when it rains it pours. I never understood it. Oh, I think now I think I get just thinking about it. When I was young, I was like, I don't know what that means. Why would the salt pour when it's raining? But I think it means it doesn't clump in the damp. This is cut from either a baby or a doll clothes sewing pattern. Piece of a coat check, ticket, a couple of just ephemera pieces. These are stands for the dolls, paper dolls. Each doll had an umbrella, so I included those. I think in my journal, or maybe this journal, I don't know, I glued an umbrella down to a page. So if I glued an umbrella to the page, then you have one of mine. These have a letter hidden in the flowers, which I didn't see. So those 2 umbrellas go with the 2 dolls that you have. Another of those little tags. There's another card, a couple other little cards, more tickets, a tag, dies, die cuts, some figures that you can use to add to your journal. More tickets and a coin envelope. This is from the paper doll book. I think you have 2 or 3 of these. So lots of fun things you can play with. It even has instructions on these pages. Make a polka dot print on that and things like that. So, I mean, follow those instructions or do your own thing. I'm going to go ahead and seal that up since we've already gone through it, and then we'll go through the journal. This is made with a Rand McNally Elf book, and I made this patchwork tie for it, and it's on muslin. Now, I want to point out, and I did point out earlier in some of my earlier videos, that there were marks on the pages or on the cover, and I used an eraser. These are ink, so it wouldn't come off all the way, but I think I made them lighter. And there are very, very faint marks. There are very, very faint marks on his face. Somebody tried to give him a mustache, but it's barely visible. So just be aware of that. And I put some fabric here. Must be I was hiding something there. I don't even remember. But I put this daisy print on it because I like the blue and yellow to go with this. And I added some more patchwork pieces on the back. There's some scribbling on this little elf face too. The dangle has, I think I did this on a video, yes. This is the dangle I did on a video, so you can watch the previous video to see everything that's on it. This journal is fat. It's whatever size a Golden Book is, and a 2-inch spine, but I really filled it up. So these are the two dolls, Holly and Linda. And this is from the cover of the paper doll book. So you're getting 2 dolls, not 4. I was going to put a number 2 on there. Maybe I'll try to still do that. This is an embossed cardstock and a piece of trim up here. Very pretty embroidery. This piece of lace was attached to that trim. I made a fabric pocket at the front of each signature, and this one has some pretty doll clothes and a pretty vintage embroidered trim there. Vintage eyelet and a piece of, it's old Stampin' Up! Ribbon, but it's not. I don't even know if it's vintage. Might be by now. I've had it for a long time. This is a tag that I made with gift wrap. So pretty. And a page from some sort of a record book. I think it had to do with the railroad. You will see some doll clothes glued down to pages and tags, but none of the original doll clothes that came with these dolls are glued down. They are all in a pocket for you. The dolls, the clothes and accessories. So there's one of the doll dresses, and I did stamping behind some of the doll dresses. Yellow lined paper, guest check or claim check, and a paper measuring tape, German measuring tape, and this little piece was cut from a paper doll book. This is stationery. This is a digital. I don't know where I got it from, but it has dresses on it, so I included that. And this is the first page of the original book. There's only one spread from the book in each signature. It has a scribble right there, and it says, I think it was Danny, love, Mom, and Daddy. 1951, I think it is. And I included this little paper Valentine envelope that it was in a book, and you would cut it out and fold it and glue it. It's from the 50s or 60s, probably 60s. The envelope is empty. There's a planning page, a workbook page with a ruffle, scrapbook paper page, so you could even have fun coloring that in with colored pencils or something if you wanted to. And I made a fabric flip with another paper doll fabric, and it's a different embroidered ribbon. These are little digital doll girl, a digital label. I think this is from Red Deb, and that label is, and probably that pansy. Oh, that's a digital too. Wrapping paper. And here is the first collection of doll clothes. So this is a little white sack, and I put a scrap of scrapbook paper, and that is also scrapbook paper. And I did a die cut here. And this pretty little girl that was cut from a pattern book. And these are Holly's clothes. Oh, one of her hats is in here. The other accessories are in a different location within the journal. This poofy dress doesn't completely fit in, but it fits within the page, within the pages, so it's protected. It won't bend just by sticking out, you know. Here we have a bingo sheet, and I think she was cut from a pattern book also, and a little die cut house, so that could be your dollhouse. And this is just a digital paper doll set, and instead of cutting out the dresses, I just folded them folded the pages and made it into a journal page. There's another vintage paper doll dress. This is a vintage record keeping book. It's got the numbers printed on it. And I sewed on a vintage card from this Find a Rhyme. This was a relatively new find, and I was so thrilled to get this. I love it. Let me see if there's a date on this. 1962. Find a Rhyme, Hudson Productions. This is a reader book, or page. That's from the same card set. This has a double page of a phone directory notebook and a little note shaped like a dress, note paper. There's the other side of the sack, and it has this note paper with a bear on it and a piece of the paper doll book. This is a soft cover from a Alice and Jerry book. And I cut it into a tag shape, made a pocket, and added one of my zigzags. This is a digital label. And that's a digital label. On the back of the bag, I put some blue lined paper and a couple of pieces from the Tim Holtz wallpaper ephemera, and a digital with the definition of the word play. Pretty little girl here, and some blue pom-pom trim. I put some coin envelopes on their sides. I glued the flaps down, tipped them on the side, and slit the top. Put a tiny little thumb notch there. This is a digital flashcard for Star, or not a flashcard, but a digital from a dictionary, children's dictionary. This is from a paper doll book, and I stamped this label. It's a really cool label. And these are all digitals. So one can go behind the envelope and one can go inside. And this is a workbook page. This is from a very old paper doll set. I didn't have the whole set, I just had a few pieces. I sometimes find a collection of paper doll pieces in clothing and stray dolls, and nothing goes together. And this was in one of those collections. And this is a digital. I don't know where the digital came from. I've had it for years. I don't know if I hold things close enough for you to see. But it's a paper doll. This was from the original Golden Book. And on this side of the lined paper is a bridge tally sheet, vintage, and a Wee Willie Winkie card. This is from 1985. We have all four of the pieces of this, so you have the whole rhyme. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town. There's a paper doll outfit there. And I made a tuck spot with that paper doll dress. And this was cut from the pattern catalog. And I put a little cluster up there. This is glued to cardstock so you can write on it. Okay, the second signature, we have another fabric pocket with a paper doll fabric and a ribbon, eyelet and ribbon, and more wrapping paper on a tag. Paper doll dress, more stamping. This is a digital. Again, I don't know where it came from, but it was a digital made from paper doll backgrounds. So sometimes your paper doll books would have backgrounds that you could use to, to play with your dolls. So that's what that is. Another planner page. This is a workbook page with a piece of ruffle again. Here we have another paper doll set. I have glassine envelopes with these two dolls, a boy and a girl, and this was a Valentine set. This is a reproduction of vintage paper dolls. And I think there is only one or two outfits for each doll. So there's a boy and a girl outfit, and then they get to dress up like George and Martha Washington. So I put the clothes inside the envelope. Look at her pretty Valentine dress. And the dolls go behind the envelope. And in this envelope we have, I didn't cut everything out, we have the wigs for George and Martha, plus a dog and their little hats for their Valentine outfits. And two more of those paper doll journaling cards. She's cut from a pattern. Another wrapping paper piece. She's a digital. Scrapbook paper. And here are Linda's clothes in here. So Holly's are in the first signature, Linda's are in the second signature, and you'll find the accessories in the third signature. We have a While You Were Out page. I love this washi tape here, and this is a digital heart. I think that was in a Red Deb collection too. This is a paper doll outfit for Ramona from Ramona Quimby. I had the author's name right in my head before I said Ramona. Now all I can think of is Ramona Quimby. But you've heard of her, Ramona the Pest, and other stories about Ramona. Beverly Cleary is the author of those stories. This is a yellow grid paper and a story page from my book house. They don't go together. I hinged them together, so this does not lead into this. I have another one of those dresses for you. A little digital and a dry cleaning tag. And this is another of the paperback Alice and Jerry book covers, and I made a little pocket on the front and tucked in a digital guest check. And the back is covered with scrapbook paper and a little digital girl. She's cut from a pattern catalog or a pattern. There's another flip. Now we have some extra paper dolls here too. These are from that big Little Miss America book that I had. So some of them had a banner on them and the other ones didn't. So this is Miss Ohio. They all have a letter to identify what clothing goes with them. I didn't cut them out, as you can see. This is part of this book page, a page from this book that I covered up an image from the worksheet. It was just a black and white picture, not very pretty. I put a pocket on it, but I wanted to cover up that part too. So anyway, these paper dolls go in here, and then we have their outfits here. This is Miss Ohio. I don't think that's Miss Illinois. I think there was a Miss Illinois. But these are their outfits, letter I and E. Yep, I got the right ones in there. So just different outfits, and I tucked them in there. None of them are cut out, so they'll fit in there better once they're cut out. And there is the second part. Upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, and another bridge score sheet. This one is folded in half. It has this perforated piece here that you can remove and use in a different spot in your journal. This is a digital from Red Deb. A very vintage paper doll dress. This tab was gone. This tab is torn. We have a tab over here, and that tab was gone. There's a note sheet and an antique advertising card for domestic sewing machines. It has it up there. She is supposed to get water, and the crow or raven is not letting her. She's looking very timid. Another paper doll fabric here and a felt flower, and another gift wrap tag. Paper doll outfit and stamping. This is another of the play sets, play scenes. This has a planner page with an advertising note paper on it for a grocery store. Just trying to fold that corner back up. And a tiny, tiny little doily. A workbook page, fabric flip, wrapping paper, and this is part of that wrapping paper, but I covered the white side of this page with a reading certificate and pieces of the wrapping paper. And in this envelope or bag, we have a guest check and a heart. And this doll, her skirt and her shoes, and if you cut her out and cut the little slits and assemble her, she would be like this. So these two wings wrap around and connect, and then the skirt wraps around and connects, and then you slide the tab up into that slot, and then you can slide the shoes into their slot. So that's what she is for. All the pieces are in there. And then I also put the pieces of the accessories for Holly and Linda in here. Put them in an envelope so they don't get lost in the bag there. Easy for you to pull out. And on the back is a telephone message paper and a digital flashcard, which is a tuck spot for this Mary Engelbreit miniature page. There's some play money, Monopoly money, and an Uncle Wiggily card. Here we have another bingo sheet and a digital girl. And I did this tag on a video. That cute little girl that was cut from sewing pattern or pattern catalog. This is from a magazine. Love that gift wrap too with the bears. Got some more pom-pom. And here is an envelope I made with a die, my Big Shot. Also, the house is a die. And a little sweet birthday card. And I tucked in a coat check or a claim check and this tag that I cut with a die. This is part of the front of the paper doll book, and it had this hole cut out. So I just cut out the flower and put some lined paper behind it so you can write on there. And I put in a piece of scrapbook paper and this little reproduction girl. This is a digital ticket and another mini doily. So I think I need to put this back on this. Oh my goodness. There. Where was I? Okay. And the third playroom playset background. And here we have a third of the nursery rhyme cards. Rapping at the window, crying through the lock. Another little, beautiful little coat for a doll, paper doll. And here's the last Wee Willie Winky card. Are the children in their beds? Now it's 8 o'clock. These cards are from 1985. A vintage bingo card with one of the, I think these are Christy Art designs, these little cards. Little paper doll set. If you want, well, you can't cut him out because he's glued on, but if you wanted to cut the other ones out, you could. I wouldn't want to cut those tiny dolls out. Of course, another vintage paper doll dress. And there's the back cover. My signature is on the back of this card. So you get this book and with the extra paper dolls inside and this whole pack of stuff to go with it. And this tie. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this paper doll series. And I hope you come back to see what's next. I think I know what I'm going to do next. I did allude to it in a previous video, but I think, I don't have books picked out, but if I can find the right book covers, I think that's what I'll go with, but I'll tell you about that in another video. Thanks for watching. Again, go to my shop, which is linked below if you're interested in purchasing this paper doll journal. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye.